course, one of the police officers in studio. Before I go there, I'd like to remind you that Protea Hotel by Marriott and Teve, comfort and luxury at its best, are our sponsors for the show. They do have a number of services, including gym, a health club, swimming pool, where you can go and enjoy with your friends and family, but also not forgetting that they do offer a number of continental dishes, including cuisines and African dishes and Ugandan dishes as well. You can go and try out their buffet and see how it goes. They host parties from weddings to baby showers to birthdays to wedding meetings to everything you can think of. A gathering, they do have you sorted. For reservations, you can call their numbers that are running on your screen and make your, of course, bookings, and make sure that you enjoy once in a while. That is Protea Hotel by Marriott and Tewe. Today, we are going to be discussing some issues, of course, to do with security. Like I had earlier mentioned, we have had a number of things already in this. Just 2024 has started with a lot of things around here and there. I remember that the Honorable Mbarak Munyaga's house was attacked recently, but police were so quick to get there, and the damages were mitigated. There wasn't cause for alarm. But also, we do like to remember that in 2023, the terror alerts were too many, and we saw some bombs being, of course, confiscated or detonated by police. And of course, we do commend them for a job well done. However, we do have some issues pending. For example, corruption and all the other things that we're going to be looking at in this hour of issues at hand. To take us through our discussion today is CP Muleterwa Anatoli, Commissioner, Police under the Community Policing Department. You're very welcome. It is good to have you this morning.
Carol, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Happy 2024.
Happy 2024.
By then you look compliant. She looks 2024 compliant.
Amen.
Our esteemed viewers, listeners, good morning and a happy new year 2024. Yes.
Right. How is the new year taking you? For not on a personal level, but on a level of your office that you hold as Commissioner for Police. How is it 2024?
No, the new year is not taking me. I'm taking it. And we are moving very steadily with each other. So far, so good. And in as far as policing is concerned, our job, our tasks, our mandate is being executed in accordance to our aspiration and people's aspiration there. So we are moving on, today being the 5th day of 2024. We have had new developments. As a country, we are hosting the CPCO, that is the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference. And as a country, we are marketing ourselves. But in as far as security is concerned, both covert and overt is assured. And so far, so good. No incident has so far been reported at that level.
Okay.
Yes.
That is very interesting. Do you agree with the people that say Uganda is one of the most peaceful countries in the world?
Yes, it is. Because peace is measured at different levels. There is what we call personal security, there is what we call community, and national. As a country, we are doing very, very good, and thank you very much for that observation. We are not only peaceful, we are the most hospitable. Because even when you look at our statistics internationally, you realize that we host the largest number of refugees in one country, which have not registered in these developed countries. So that is very good, and I hope we continue doing that just because of the spirit of hospitality, our tolerance, and people are very welcoming. Culturally, from west, north, south, central, they are very welcome. So indeed, that's very good, and it's a mark for all of us to share it.
Okay,
Yes.
that is interesting. Now, I'd like to start on a light note. We have Uganda that is made up of 70% youths, and youths out there, some of them would like to join the forces in future. What do you have to tell them? What should they prepare for in case they are interested in joining the forces? Is it a good thing, or should they just give up and say, no, let me leave police? Should they be encouraged to join the forces in their future?
But you are Carol.
Exactly.
Carol, if you have a child, the only place where you can really have a mark in the service for your country is in the police. So
Really?
encourage him or her
Really?
to join very much. One, we count on your contribution as an individual, because what can you be able to sacrifice if you cannot be able to render service to your country? So it's very important. But two, it is a commitment which calls for service above self, and we see this being very attractive. Now, of recent, Carol, I want to tell you that the Uganda Police Force is one of the most enviable professionals. What some people have not been knowing is that it is in the Uganda Police Force that you have a collection of all professionals, and it is the highest security organ with all the professionals, ranking from teachers, surveyors, engineers, artists, social scientists, name them. Even those in natural science are all in the police. So you realize that because of that, Uganda Police Force has with the time developed capabilities, which indeed have now made it very enviable, both nationally, regionally, and internationally. Therefore, for anybody who really wishes, please. But the other thing that you need to understand is that it's a very competitive. You cannot be able to come there when you are indisciplined, when you are corrupt, when you are, a social reject, when you are a drug abuser, or when you have whatever, and you say, let me go to the Uganda Police Force. Nothing. Happy are the days when your people there would say, Chikeneyo, this is no longer a dumping place, and you never desire to say you'll come to police because you think it is a place for rejects. No way. So this has gone with the time being built. Now, the other thing that you need to understand is that if you are to join the Uganda Police Force, we have 3 entry points. We have the entry point of a PPC, then the other entry point of a Lana AIP, and then the other one of Cadet ASP. So those are the 3 entry points through which you can be able to join the Uganda Police Force. And then some professional career courses which really make you be elevated to higher positions of responsibility, given your discipline, your that attributes that you have indeed exhibited. Yes. Now, the 3 levels which I've mentioned, PPC, of recent, the Uganda Police Force management has lowered. Previously it used that if you are to join the Uganda Police Force at a level of a PPC, you would go at A level, senior 6. But in the last 2 years, it has now been lowered to O level. So one who has got credits, a minimum of 5 credits with a bias in English and mathematics, can be able to join. But of good moral standard, definitely it challenges us really to measure the morality of people. But with the time it goes on, one's character is exposed with the time. Then you must have a minimum age. You must be Ugandan, and there are other whatever. Then the case of Lana AIP, that is a person who has a diploma in a certain specific field, which may be relevant at that time of the advert. So when the Uganda Police Force may call for relevant applicants, for suitable applicants to join the force with a bias of specific field of study. So when you join at a diploma level, you become a learner AIP. Okay. But when you qualify, you become an AIP. Then the other one is a higher one of a degree. So when you enter at that level, you join as a cadet ASP with a degree. Yes.
Very, very interesting. Now, you mentioned indiscipline, and I would like to start the conversation by partnering it with corruption. Now, we had entities come up as corrupt in 2023, and police happened to be one of them, unfortunately. But my question would be, how do we make sure that we get the police name out of the corruption books? Because I would like to believe, as a person, police is not that corrupt. There are some few individuals who are. So how are we going to do away with that, with those people who bring a bad name to our forces?
Like you have said, Carol, it irks me, especially for some individuals who want to have their own agenda, talking about the police being corrupt. But you see, talking is different, and the service delivery is different. One, the subject of corruption is being dealt at all levels, either as a country. You remember His Excellency during his New Year message, he was really candid and gave guidance. Then the office of Inspector of Government, with IGG, also has come with very clear guidance on that. And for us internally, we have a mechanism. Now, I don't know whether you'd want the public to assume that we are tolerant on this subject. No. That is totally unacceptable. One, any person who is suspected to be corrupt, first of all, go to 2 or 3 areas where you can be able to complain. You can go directly to complain against him or her in courts of law. You can go directly and complain to IGG. You can go directly and complain to a professional standard unit or any commander against that person. But you see, the issue of corruption is something which we have failed to understand, because I don't know why you are always removing yourselves from that subject, because you are always saying the police is corrupt. But who is giving the police?
That's a very nice one.
Have you ever asked? Yes, we are corrupt as per your say, but who is giving us? Why don't you bring those ones who are giving us to be made accountable for their actions? Because the law itself is very clear.
Yeah.
It says the giver and the taker are corrupt. But time and again you want to sound very angel. I don't know why you even don't go to heaven, you angels. Because every time you are sentencing us, you are sentencing us, you are sentencing us. Eh? But if you give me, the question is, what was the motive of you giving me? Huh? And at the end of it all, it is you who now interprets that I am corrupt. So, fellow Ugandans, let's be very clear on this subject. If we are to fight corruption, it is a collective responsibility. As I sit here, I do not condone in any way acts of corruption, acts of bribery for police services. Therefore, if you think that there is any policeman who is desireful of rendering his services at a cost, please inform us. That would be the baseline for us, for you to understand whether we condone corruption or not. But it is very absurd. After you have tested us, then you begin to say, the police is this. What are you trying to insinuate? You angels out there, you who have mechanisms of judging us being too corrupt. By the way, if we were too corrupt, you would imagine how many people are. By the way, have you ever, let me ask you, have you ever asked for how many people yearn for police services? Now, if we were asking for money, would those people be coming?
No.
It is the Uganda Police Force is one sector which attracts highest clientele, right from the lowest level. Now, do you mean to say that whoever is coming there is paying for money? Maybe, I would say, we may have some individuals, But those are the individuals we would like you to identify and give them to us so that we can handle them together. And that is what it means by collective responsibility in as far as prevention of corruption is concerned.
Okay.
But it too, I want us to look at this issue or the subject of corruption in a bigger way. How are you relating, Carol, how are you relating in your home? Your child, before he goes to school, you are calling him, oh, daddy, go to school, I can give you a sweet. Now, you are inculcating the culture of corruption in this child at a childhood level. So he grows up knowing that you must be incentivized in order to do certain things. Now, when he wants to contest as a prefect, you are giving him sweets. To give who? Now, let me ask you, Carol, you are a journalist and you are the people who cover. Have you ever documented how many children ask their parents for tokens to give voters in their schools? You mean those are not corrupt?
Wow.
So, assuming such a person is now one whom you have now desired to join the police, he has grown with that kind of mentality from the home, school, churches, because even when you go to churches, I hear some pastors tell you, you want bigger blessings, come with $1 million. What is that?
But, Mr. Commissioner, we can't relate the two. There's no way we can relate what happens in church to what happens
what do you mean?
The police.
You mean to say that that is angelic? Okay, since you don't want me to talk about it, it's angelic. But remember, they are the ones whom you pray for and come to join the police. So at the end of it all, what they do? They translate into bad habits. Let me tell you, if we are to look at the vice, let's look at it collectively. Let's look at it comprehensively.
And fairly.
Yes, and fairly. So you don't choose for me to say, don't talk about the church, talk about this. Do you want to tell me why did God condemn Abel? I mean, not Abel, Cain. Why? Do you mean to say that when Cain killed his brother, God told him, no, don't do that? No. Please, a human being is both spiritual and human.
I like that.
So I am here, I am a policeman in uniform, but I have a spirit, which I take to church. So we need really to bring all these affairs, these issues in a fair manner, that we can really make our people be people of high integrity in their delivery of services. Yes.
Beautiful discussion. Now we cross over to the recap of the just concluded festive season. During the past years, we've seen a lot of, or let me call it, crime rate going up during these particular seasons. But of recent, police reports indicated that crime reduced a little bit compared to past years, but it was still the crime was still there. Talking about theft, talking about road usage and respect for road rules. Basically, a general overview. In your opinion, do you think that this time around the festive season went well, security-wise?
Taro, do you eat?
I do.
Do you peel matoke?
Definitely.
Why am I bringing this? You know, ordinarily, when we are talking about life, let's not try to disentangle it from the real ordinary life. As you eat, you bite yourself. You bite your tongue. Do you stop from eating?
No.
As you peel the matoke, you cut your knife. Do you cut off whatever?
No.
So what am I trying to say? That despite the festives being around, there were certain hiccups here and there. They were there, but life must continue. And those are the hiccups which we want us to talk about and see how we can be able to prevent them in the coming future, which is very important. Now, from my background of community policing, one is that there is no standard season when crime is static. Uh, it all depends on the season. Very soon we are going to have the season for children going to school.
Yes.
And certain attributes of crime will manifest during that period of time.
Yes.
During time for Easter, the same will happen. During time for Independence, the same will happen. Then during time for Christmas, New Year, all of that. And then the other time is during time for politics. Certain things tend to happen in that way. So there are no standard whatever that crime is homogeneous, crime is static. It all depends on that particular season. And two, the anxiety of the community members. Anxiety. You know, both the bad and the good are in anticipation of happiness. You know, by the way, let me tell you, Carol, whatever we all struggle for in this life is optimizing happiness. Whether a thief or a good human being, he wants to optimize happiness. Now, our only difference is how do you want to attain that? That is where the element of criminality comes in. Now, during this last season, we definitely registered a low rate of crime incident before Christmas, because people were really in anticipation. People were, you know, they wanted to celebrate Christmas well. So, with the exception of hiccups of hit and run, drink and drive, and some kind of isolated murders, plus the unprecedented attack in Kamwenje. But during that period of time, we registered low rates of incidences. However, as the year came to an end, there were a lot of acts of domestic violence, where we registered a number of them, but the most striking were about 3 or 4. I think one was in Chigezi, where a woman killed with the support of her son. They killed a husband. Then equally so was in North Choga, where a woman decided to slaughter her husband because that the husband was trying to chase her away. Telling the husband to take away the stepchild, and then the man was resisting, and many more others. There was even one which was where a man, because of drug abuse, I think, wanted to sacrifice his child. Got a knife, and wanted to cut a child. And because of community vigilance, they were able to alert the police. That was in Aswa West. They were able to alert the police, and we rescued that child. Okay. Now, there are a number of causes for this. One is the unabated methods of drug usage. Drug usage. You know, traditionally, I like our tradition. And if they had allowed the police to evolve in a traditional manner, by the way, let me tell you, Carol, when we call that this is a formal organization, the police we are talking about are practices and edicts of those who invented it. They were the ones who looked at that this is bad, so how do we do? Then they documented it. This is bad, how do we do? Then they documented it. It was as a result of the intense criminality between the both the urban and poor rich at that time, that they decided to say, how can we regulate it? Now, in societies where you realize that people have moved in tandem with the police, is because their cultural values have been assimilated, and therefore they allow such practices. Now, this is what I always urge for. The police, which we talk about, should be allowed to sieve the best practices in our cultural setup and then formalize them, and then we can see how we people in uniform can apply them generally. Now, when we bring these imported laws, you know, by the way, let me tell you, Kara, do you know that there is a precedent symbol? Ignorance is no defense in courts of law. Ignorance is no defense in courts of law. When did you take time to educate me? So that I really feign ignorance? How? Yet culturally, people, you know, our police, traditionally before this European, it was based on participation. All of us participating. The elders transmitting knowledge. Please, my son Muhumuza, don't do this. If you do this, this is... Now, it grows into you knowing that if I do this, this will happen to me. But here they are saying, don't drive left. I mean, don't drive right, drive left. But you don't know why. Even the one who is telling you to drive left may even not know how to drive, but is telling you, drive left. Yet you are saying on the right, there is space. So when you begin driving the way you want, you cause an accident. Simply because the laws we are trying to apply to people have never been grown into them. They have never been part of them. And therefore, it becomes a bit of disparity in our enforcement. Forcing people, I mean, and you know, by the way, when we talk about enforcement, it is forcing. Because we are telling you force, do this. Let me tell you, if it was not because there was a force, would you be here today? So because you know there is a force, you must, and that is the law. The law itself is coercive. So coming back to what I'm saying, is that some of the things, especially on drug usage, drugs extremely were limited and highly restricted. If you are not of age, you would not be allowed. You would even go and see that, first of all, there was no barrier, but you would even see a Njaga plant, but you would not even dare touch it. Unless you even inform, Daddy, Auntie, Senga, I want this. Can I? You explain, and then he says, okay, go ahead, and even gives you some prescriptive. Now, we are talking about drugs which are in the open. They are in the open, and some of these are the ones now, especially the youth, have now turned into. So, some of the youth, especially between the ages of 10 to 28, 30, are already in that bracket. And this is the biggest problem. That's why you realize that some of those that we are finding conflicting with the law are the youth. So that is one. Two, unlimited and unregulated usage of alcohol. With that negative attitude. Gwongulira, you know, you are drinking, you are driving. When you are cautioned, you are asking the police, gwongulira. When you cause an accident, you are rushing to the policeman. Why didn't you say, now that I have caused the accident, let me report myself? You even want now to begin. So that kind of tendency. The other is partly poor upbringing. You know, when you grow up in a village, there is a way the community owns you. The auntie, the father, the neighbors, the passerby, and they see to it that when you are growing up responsibly to benefit the entire community. But here now, we have everyone for himself and everything being put to God. But God gave you life. God gave you the mechanism to say, please, go produce and turn this world into a miraculous world. Now you are putting every blame. God, even when you do something wrong. So these are the tendencies that really we are coming up to. And so during that period of time, we registered a high number of accidents, high number of domestic violence incidences, high number of drinking, and the excitement. Do you know that some people even baited? I can eat 10 chapatis. Now, how do you really want to test your stomach, which has not been eating beyond 2 chapatis? Now you want, because you think it is something free, you want to eat 10 at a go. What will happen? So some people died in the course of that. Then the others were excitement, going to the beaches. Others were overloading of motor vehicles, and even some boats capsizing, and a number of them. But you see, the Waganda have a saying, for you now, you are still alive and I'm still alive, and we are still talking to those who are alive. Sorry for those who died, but please, for us who are still alive, let's learn lessons.
Beautiful. All right. We are still in studio with Commissioner of Police Muleterwa Anatoli, taking us through the discussion of security recap during the festive season, and also, of course, what is to come next year. Now, don't go away. We are taking a very, very short break and returning with more stories you do not need to miss. We are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe, comfort and luxury at its best.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives. Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
No, we can just continue our conversation. I'm having a very interesting conversation with the Commissioner of Police in the background. I think we should just go on with it. He's telling me about community vigilance and how exactly we can make sure that we instill it in our community. We are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott. Let the discussion continue.
Now, it has. We are almost at a crossroad. What can be able to strengthen and build a strong community vigilance is collective responsibility. That where I stop is where you start from. But here are a scenario where people want to be paid to play a certain role. You call people, talk about security, they want you to give them transport. Mfunira muwa, tuna ya mafuta, tuna aliawa. But I'm talking about your personal safety. How do you keep yourself in a home? How do you keep your children? Now, by the way, you are talking about, do you know that children are now outside are for holidays? How many have been defiled? How many have been denied of the necessities at home? How many have been left vending goods? Batembe abuji, buchungwa, bichi. How many have not been provided for by their parents? Now, these are issues that we need to talk about. But when you talk about, you call people to come, they say, mfunira muwa, transport eriwa. About your own responsibility. 2, people producing children as if it is a luxury. Then they match them to police. The police, somebody with there was a man who brought 18 children to police. 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18. The question is, did you apply to police when you were producing those children? Now, when we talk about these are issues that really, because, you know, always desire to pinch a food you can bite. But when you desire to do certain things out of luxury, out of what? It is very unfortunate. So I want to call upon all Ugandans. When we talk about issues of security, security is a common good for all of us. Whether you are a Catholic or not, a Protestant or not, or Musamizo or not, on the road or not, security is a common good for all of us. We should all be very, very conscious about what takes place around us, especially those that we move with, those that we want to trust, those that, now, there are tendencies when you give your valuable to somebody, you are giving him or her your phone. He even plays with your phone and says, "Post password here." Then you, your pin, you give him a pin. By the time you give a pin, you know he's even studying the secrets on whatever and so on and so forth. Eventually, you find that he has even caused a crime on your phone. That is 1. 2. If you are at home and you are a father or a mother or an aunt or whatever, those people who are before you are under you.
Okay.
Is it first that the police must play its role, or it is you? Because at the end of it all, yes, whereas I'm supposed to secure you, but you are the one who knows those whom you have. Carol, it makes me understand when people say, police are not to command into your. Yes, very good. That is very good crime work. Thank you for cramming that. But do I know what you have? Do I know what you have? Do I know who may be your danger? Do I know whether what you have is you acquired it illicitly or not? I can only be able to secure you as a policeman on information. On information that I have a threat here, please, policeman. I have people who are tracing for me. I have my cows here. I have my goats here, and they are the people who are, that is the level of vigilance we are talking about. That people, please, and therefore I want to call upon you as I conclude on this subject, that our children are back home. Do not schools, many institutions which want to dupe you are about to make announcements. Some of them will use some of these medias. Please, parents there with the children, come, we are offering them free bursaries, what. You never know those who are trying to attract you, take your children, the motives behind them. They are the ones who are even recruiting them into criminal acts, including terrorism. They are the ones who end up duping you. They begin saying, how many children you have? I have 4. Let me try a time. Registration, you can imagine. They first tell you, bring 50,000 children registration. And for you, assume 50,000 is small money. You give. 4 children, 50,000, that is 200,000. Then they say, there we are going to take them, we shall need some transport. How much? 10,000. Then he said, we want school requirements. What is it? Books, what, registration at school? 200,000. By the time you calculate, you are in 1 million. Now, you are enriching an individual against your own ignorance or against your own curiosity. Now, when I talk like that, part of the question you'd ask, how many are paying attention to what I'm talking here? I say, now, you wait for them. They will begin yawning. Who has the number of a policeman to assist? But when you are cautioning them on some of these vital things, they say, so they are there. They have begun advertising schools with the free science money, free bursaries, whatever for what. Please, these are your children and you know the reason why you produce them. Start on with your responsibility. If you cannot manage, government offered services for you that you can take your child to UPE. You can take your child to USE. You can take your child for vocational. By that, I even didn't know. This business of people complaining in Buhe teachers are eating their registration money. Government, as long as a child is of government and did his or her O-level and passed with the 2nd grade, is registered for free. Did you know that? A child in a government school who under UPE, under USE, is registered for free as long as you got. But now they will begin running. So private schools are asking us for 100,000. Who is telling you to take them there? So if you are going there, go there at your own and stop complaining. If anything, by the way, it's just because sometimes some of our policemen are complacent also. They will charge you. You are fit to be charged.
Because of time, let's cross to domestic violence. Now, there was an issue where police officers handled the rape case, and when it failed, the police officer sent away the girl and said, you go and handle it from home. Has it gotten to that level where domestic violence is too bad that it cannot be handled by our leaders or the people who are supposed to mitigate it?
No, I'm not getting your question, Carol. That the policeman did what?
So, there was a lady that was raped. When she reported to police
First of all, before you go, don't put too much on my table. Rape is a capital offense.
True.
Both the raped and the raper are supposed to be treated differently. The first thing is that when somebody is raped, we have what we call PEP. That is a preventive medicine which is given to this woman or girl or a boy, because rape may even happen to a man. So this is a medicine which is given to him or her to prevent from being transmitted HIV/AIDS before 72 hours. Now, whoever did that, please, that is good information. Give me that information. I will start with that and get to know to the nitty-gritty. I'll then come back here and give you feedback that they chased away a victim of rape. From where?
Up country. We had a...
No, you give me up country. I am a Uganda. I mean, you have even written there, Commissioner of Police for Community. I cover Uganda.
True.
Yes, so that information you have, I want to start on it, and I'm going to give it to you as good year offer.
Okay, that's very good. Because of time, you can give us our last words as we wrap up.
I want to thank you, Carol. I want to thank my son for hosting me in this place, and I want to thank the management of our Family TV for endlessly inviting me and inviting my personnel to disseminate, to mobilize, to raise awareness to different communities. But 3 things. 1, fellow Ugandans, Uganda is our country. Nobody will ever be able to build Uganda for us. We must all work together and build this Uganda. 2, let's avoid instances of blame game. This one is not doing this one is not doing that. Please, blame game cannot take us anywhere. It doesn't. If anything, we all have responsibility. So in the issues of security, I call upon for collective responsibility, aware of the fact that drug abuse is on the high, terrorist acts are on the high, and at the same time we have international guests within the country. Let's not embarrass our country now that we know that Uganda is one of the most hospitable, if not the most hospitable country in the world. And 3, fellow parents all out there, I talking to you, Muleterwa, is a product of responsible parenthood. If it was not for my parents, I would not be here as a commissioner of police. I want to call upon you, all parents who are there and viewing this program, please take care of our children, guard them, protect them, feed them, nurture them. Now that it is holiday time, take them where you are, be with them, guide them. Let them learn how to eat. I mean, now, no, not how to eat, how to work. But you are now taking them smanye barbecue. What is barbecue? Let me ask you, Karo. By the way, you look barbecue. Let me ask you, Karo. What is barbecue in Uganda or Runyankolo? What? For me, tell me cassava, Karo, what? That is our food which makes us very strong, very intelligent, very adamant. So please, parents, take this as being serious and move our children. May the good Lord bless you and continue to nurture, continue to foster our being and work as a country for good and my country.
Senior Police Officer, Commissioner of Police Muleterwa Anatoli, with the beautiful discussion. Thank you so much. And I'd like, of course, to thank the crew that I worked with, senior producers Shama David, Norman Conte, Edwin Mukalazi, and myself, Karo Tumwine. We wish you a lovely weekend. We'll be back on Monday morning. Look at night, come back to work. Good day.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.